Hello.
All right. Oh yeah, Black Sun in the hizzle for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. We got Nature Mom and we're doing part two. Nature
Yes,
Mom,
yes.
cool
Let's
deal,
dig in.
cool deal, cool deal. All right.
Yeah. So how you doing? Everybody's good out there, I hope?
Yeah, doing good, doing good.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
So I know we had to change the time around, so I don't know how many
Yeah.
people will show up.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Unfortunately, I did have to change the time today. Very
Okay, that's fine.
important occasion. And shout out to our remote technical director, Noki. Happy birthday. So, yeah.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna miss a lot of people if they don't get to chime in with us today, but I hope that they, tap
Okay.
into the conversation and later,
Okay.
have more to add to this. I'm sure. I'm wondering what about the comments last week. How did people really respond to this and take to it? Because I still don't see the notes sometimes, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Do
but
you ever go to the like if you go to the channel, just type of you
yeah,
go to use.
yeah,
I
I can
think you
see
can.
it in the channel. Yeah, it's true. I can see it there.
Okay.
But when we're live, no, I can't really see it. So
Okay.
that's
So
okay.
so when you go to the okay, I know because I know you got your computer. You're on your
Yeah.
computer, right? Do you have
Yeah.
maybe another device like a phone or something?
I usually use my phone for my notes and my
Oh, okay,
research.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You have
unfortunately,
a
I'm
third
yeah,
device? No. So you're all basically
not
you're
really.
all okay. I okay. So I
Yeah,
was gonna say you can actually
notes. you
okay,
know,
okay,
always ready
okay.
with the notes.
Okay, so you won't be able to see it live. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
Well,
probably
all
not.
right.
Yeah,
Okay,
not
okay,
until
okay. So after, okay, okay.
I win the lottery and we could get one more
Get another
device.
ride, get a whole other device. Yeah. In fact, it's funny you say that because I'm actually working on getting a GoPro.
Ah,
But
uh, so why are you working on it when we could get you one? We already have that
oh, you got
equipment.
a GoPro? Okay, well I can
We
send you
have
all the money.
many
Shoot.
GoPros. This
Oh,
is the work. You forget this is our our industry. So
okay,
part
okay.
of it,
Well,
at least.
I,
Gynocracy.
I could just send you all the money.
Ah,
I'd rather just send you all the money
thank
than
you.
yeah,
Dolled up.
shout out to God.
A little bit more like after wash, but thank
After
you for
okay,
feeling the dolled up part.
okay.
That's very sweet.
So
Thank
I've
you.
learned the technique that actually works for me after washing the hair.
Hmm.
Put the oils all on my tips, and then it does an upward motion like a straw.
You could say something like that. I mean, it's not really going upwards, but what it is, it's allowing your natural sebum to come back down,
Uh huh.
and then you are sealing off the dried the
So it's kind of like
oldest
they're
part of
both
your hair.
right.
So
So
they're
they're
both kind of meeting,
getting
let's
together.
say in the
Okay.
middle, and then of course you're getting the buildup from you know the atmosphere pollution,
Okay. Okay.
just our everyday interactions, and plus the food. It's I mean, don't forget our hair is dead, so really all the nutrients are coming from your scalp, and then you're
Mhm.
adding something that's just sealing those dead shafts at the end.
At the end,
So
right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So well, let's get right into it, huh? Because
Okay.
where did we leave off last week?
Okay.
We were
So
talking about. Go ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna say we left off. We're supposed to have a guest, but that didn't
Yes,
work out.
yes.
So yeah, that's all right.
Unfortunately, yeah, we have a couple of guests,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, even the second guest didn't work out today.
Okay.
This is kind of like pressing issues, things that are going
Right.
on right now, especially, I mean, what are we calling it? Is it in the wake of this, financial instability that's been going on? We know about, the big banks uh, crashing again, needing a bailout again.
Right.
The American people, the working class, are the ones who are actually paying that bill, and each one of our presidents just keeps signing the checks,
Hmm.
whether we agree to pay that bill or not. So So where we left off last week, where we were talking about, AI,
Right.
and the way that we, have this expectation that AI is going to be taking over. We're looking at like 3 billion jobs. I'm sorry, 300 billion jobs in the close future.
Okay.
And but it is going to open up the market for about 95 billion other jobs.
So
Um,
is that a surplus or is that? I mean, okay, I just caught that number. So
yeah,
the
yeah.
jobs lost compared to the jobs gained. What's the difference?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, I'm glad you caught that,
Yeah, yeah, I caught
and
that. Yeah,
and
I just
and
caught
that's
that.
just it. I mean, we're talking about, over 200 million jobs lost and not regained, particularly, in the area of AI operations or AI programming or AI management, right? We're only
Hmm.
talking about, these are the jobs that are going to be created to, have some control of the AI market that's coming up. Deacon, good to see you. Thanks for being here this morning so early. I know I woke a lot of you guys up early today. It's quite
Well, that's what I
deep.
was saying to kind of give people heads up because the way YouTube works, and that's why I was like, when you said the time change, it
Yeah.
will go on the initial notification, and for some reason, you change the time, YouTube won't get that notification no more. So everybody be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I thought you said such and such time." So that's
Yes,
not
it's
yeah,
true.
YouTube.
I noticed I'm not getting, I wanted to mention that to you as well. I'm not getting notifications, and I didn't know if it was regional or what, but
I got a solution for that. So
okay.
what I'm gonna do is ask everybody. I got a page on Rumble, and Rumble has a very good notification system. So as a
Okay.
backup, y'all
Rumble.
go. I think it's go follow me on Rumble. I don't know if it's subscribe or follow. Go to Rumble, the Arena Uncensored on Rumble. Follow me
Mhm.
there, and you will get a notification every single time. We can
Okay.
watch it on here. What I'm doing is I'm gonna just use it as a platform, but use that as y'all alarm clock as a backup because
Oh, I
YouTube
love it.
has a way of like not giving people notifications, especially if you
Okay.
switch the time.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm noticing
yeah,
YouTube, yeah, that they
yeah,
have
yeah,
their
yeah.
favorites within the algorithm,
Of course.
or they're, even if it's not within your particular algorithm, it's just their favorites, their money
Hmm.
makers, and they're
Absolutely,
pushing them at you as well, and not
absolutely.
necessarily the people that you're subscribing to. You're not getting as many
And speaking,
notifications. So great. Oh, thanks
yeah.
for putting it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Deacon.
Deacon. Thank you, Deacon. I'm gonna leave that up so everybody else can see it. Thank you, Deacon.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
that's wonderful.
that will give you every notification. So
Wonderful.
every single
Okay.
notification, boom, you'll get it. Rumble,
I
yeah,
wasn't
Rumble
even
won't
aware
care.
of Rumble. So
Yeah,
again, learning something
Rumble
new.
formed out because so many people are complaining about YouTube, and people have
Ah,
complained about YouTube. Hey, twin, if you can go to Rumble, do the same thing Deacon did. Go
t-
subscribe so you can get your
twin.
notification because, like I said, if Nation Mom and I do a show, and then because of our time zones,
Time
slightly
changes,
time
and
change,
yeah.
right? YouTube's like, oh no, we gave you a winner. They will not send out no more, but Rumble will send that out every single time. So shout out to
Okay.
Twin. Oh, Twins and Izzo for shizzle.
Okay.
Yep. Right.
So, hi, twin. So yeah, so getting back, so where we left off last week was was right there, really talking about how it's going to affect future industries,
Right.
particularly we brought up the conversation about the legal justice system,
Right. Right.
and how AI is going to be very much more active in this industry as we see time go forward. So I
Okay.
actually wanted to like break down for you guys some information for this week about, particularly about which industries we are seeing AI in at the current moment. And just give me one moment to pull up the notes here, because
Okay.
when I'm using the computer, I don't like to switch
Right.
between the screens because my
Oh
screen
yeah.
is not so big.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I like to have my little hand notes and my written notes here next to me.
Okay.
But one of the things, while I'm finding it, I would like to put out there is um yeah, I can't even speak
Judicial,
today. The
judicial, yeah,
judicial system,
yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been speaking like this all week, you guys. So excuse me if
Hey,
I'm
I'd rather
fumbling
speak
over my
like that
words.
than get hoarse by the pollen. The pollen has been taking my voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been taking my voice away.
Yeah, we'll have to get into climate change in one of our future conversations.
Okay,
Um,
I love it.
but uh, but yeah, let me just go back here. Here we go. So yeah, we had a lot of discussion. Uh-oh, wait, what's going on? Why isn't it going to my notes? Hold on one second, guys. Huh, never seen it do that before. I wonder. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, it's up.
Okay,
Um, so we talked a lot about, like, yeah, what industries can we really see AI being used in today. And I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Using it in legal research, for example. But and let's say particularly like going through legal documents, evidence, going over case law,
forensic, forensic
right,
DNA.
forensic data, analyzing that data exactly, especially in the realm of like no contest DNA, right?
Right,
Things that we
absolutely.
know is quite accurate. Um, statutes, regulations. Um, but I think that, like, going back to that conversation about sentencing and risk management, I think that that is a really a very scary and gray area for AI to be not monitored in, because I did some research for you guys, and really AI just it's the data collection methods. There's no guarantee that these data collection methods are like sound and unbiased, 100%. So one of the biggest issues that I thought of in the legal sphere, in that realm, it made me ask the question, who is like approving and okaying all of this AI technology that is being accepted as being able to be a judging force. And when I dug deeper into the data collecting methods
Yeah,
themselves, like we're saying, when we're talking about understanding human anatomy, when we're talking about DNA analysis, when we're even talking about laws, regulations, things are that are set in place already and very clearly stated, then I think that we can really find AI to be very useful and helpful.
yeah,
Market analysis. And even market analysis, you really have to ask the question, how up to date is that data? Because a lot of data in these AI programs are coming from like a couple years back, and is not current, data today. So, how
right,
much information are you getting, about, the bank market crashes? Probably not very much. And we're going to need some time for that information to be uploaded into the data system, analyzed, and then use as sound information about something that's going on right now today that we need to be we need to be privy on. We need to know what's going on with these banking systems. And we can't really rely on the data being current,
right.
and with this current bailout, we can't even rely on it being, like we said before, like, unbiased in any particular way at this point, because we see our media is completely biased. Our politics are completely biased on this subject.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and I want
So,
to actually, when
mhm.
if you have time after the show, I'm gonna need some help because I can't find certain informations my dang self. So,
Uh, okay. Today, we could probably do it later because I do have an occasion, or tomorrow we can go over it. But today is kind of a tough day because that's why I had to push up the our time today.
Okay, okay.
Um, so yeah, later just send me that information
I will. I
and then I
will.
can start. Empress, great to see you here today. I
Mhm.
can. So sometimes I get the notifications. Seems like today they're really coming through and I can see you guys. And I'm so
Again,
happy to see you.
again, it's off and on with YouTube.
Uh,
Y'all make sure, and I know Empress just arrived. Empress, if you can, I don't know because I don't know how you get your notifications in the UK. If you get your notifications, cool. But there's a backup channel we have on Rumble. They give you all the notifications. So, like I said, if you can, go to Rumble, subscribe to Rumble because YouTube's not getting all of our notifications. So this is just a backup, sis. If you can, you know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
then
yeah.
and I if I saw Empress's comment,
Oh
it
yeah.
was about time change happened there as well. So it's
Yeah.
interesting, yeah, how they still have these stagnated time changes as well. Like, you know, we have going into a one world power, but they can't even coordinate time changes. So, but anyways, so yeah, back to that conversation. One of the other very important points that I think that is to be considered when we're thinking about where this data collection is coming from. Um, you know, one of the things I have to say is the biggest question is about making sure that the AI data is representative, right? And
Right.
it is inclusive. And I mean, let's talk about the people who are still in leadership today. Can we really see anywhere in even from present day to anywhere else in history where U.S., European, Scandinavian, or any other supremacist culture have openly put out diverse and inclusive source sets. So can we really trust right now that this is even the best intentioned people? I find that a lot of people are very ignorant because they only go by the information they were taught. And a lot of that information is just so riddled with holes and lacks honesty. I mean, we know about going back to one of the biggest topics I think of this century is the mass murders in the United States of Red Summer, and how
Mhm.
libraries were commanded to lock that information behind doors. True media people had a hard time getting to it for decades.
Right.
Now it's coming out, but look how many people had to fight for that information to
Absolutely.
be there. And
Absolutely.
only now are people slowly starting to learn that these events even happen if their grandparents, and great grandparents are even still with them to be able to share these stories. You know, these stories aren't being, massively told in true transparency and honesty. So, what kind of
Well,
information does our AI have about it now?
can you refresh us about the? You said the Red
Red
Massacre.
Summer,
Red
yeah.
Summer.
So the Red Summer Massacre. So I mean, when I say the Red Summer Massacre, what I define that as are like communities like Rosewood,
Okay.
Okencha, so many. I mean, hundreds of towns. What we now know is as Central Park used to be a black, actually a mixed community, but predominantly a black community with a black leader, and it was just wiped out. So a lot of people have no idea. I think that they put up one monument somewhere in Central Park so that there was some
Oh,
homage to it,
oh,
but
we're gonna have a
no.
problem because my research is kind of related to that. Oh shoot.
Okay.
How? Ooh. How?
Ah,
Because I'm assuming all those places that you mentioned were predominantly economically like
viable communities.
viable,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
so every time there's something happening, they raid these communities. So I want my research actually on that. So this is right on time, Nature Mom. So yeah, that is what. So now that you know what I'm going to request, because I'm like I can't find this information,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, I would like to get some of that information.
Well, I think one of the things, I always say, that history doesn't exactly repeat itself, but it sure does, rhyme very closely. And
Mhm.
as we can see now, as this, economic, we've been talking as a community about the economic recession that's finally being claimed, and we
Right.
called it a recession last year.
Okay.
we were saying, how can they not call this a recession? And now, as we're seeing it, ricochet through the West, we're seeing it ricochet all over the East, the Far East, and it's quietly ricocheting through African countries. We're starting to see, going back to our conversation a couple of weeks ago about Tunisia and
Mhm.
the tyrannical statements of their leader,
Right.
trying to scapegoat their economic situation on one particular group.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest, they took a lot of Chinese, American, Russian money too. And
Oh,
you're
they took
telling
money from
us,
both sides. Oh God.
more many many of the countries are. I
Turkey.
mean,
Yeah.
they're taking handouts anywhere they can get them. If they could get an international EBT card, they'll be on it.
And it's
So
funny. It's funny because Russia has made buku bucks since their what do you call it, sanctions. They have
ah
made more money on the sanctions.
I mean, what is this sanction? But you know, um,
What's supposed to be it's supposed to block you economically from and prospering from other countries, but it seemed like
no,
since that happened, they actually took it down. I'm like, damn, how they do that?
it's
Wow.
basically, I mean, when we're talking about basic economics here,
Uh huh.
you just increase the demand for those goods, and every good, every service, that is coming out of that direction, you just increase the prices. And on top of
That's
that, at a
what
time
Putin
when,
did. That's what
at,
Putin did. Like we
at a
know
time,
from
I mean,
sanctions, so we got to charge
and
more
let's say
money.
Putin did it.
Oh, I
America
mean,
helped this happen. All of the
right.
sanctioning countries helped this to occur, and I don't think that it is highly coincidental, that this is taking place, as China's having economic downturn as well, and that. And the fact that they've been covering it up under the guise of COVID. I mean, I'm assuming the information is slowly leaking in US as well
Now,
about all
COVID.
the covert operations behind COVID and the financial
Well,
gains.
they finally put. I want to say Modernum, the guy from Modernum. They put him on. He had to face Congress, and they
Okay.
grilled him. Yeah,
So he went to tribunal. Okay.
yeah.
That's
I'll send that
interesting.
to you. Yeah, I'll send it to
I
you. 'Cause,
I would
yeah.
love it. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So yeah, Ebizzle, I saw you out there for 1 second. Great
Yeah,
to see you.
yeah.
Um
He is definitely in the house. He is definitely in the house. Yeah. E Bizzle, shout out to E Bizzle. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if it's too early for E Bizzle, but I told him next time we have a show, jump on because he actually had some things to say about Tunisia himself. So I don't want to put him on the
Oh,
spot, but
oh
he
yeah.
enjoyed the
Go with
show and he gave me some more insight, and I was like, oh, okay. And MD, I think is still under the weather. I don't
yeah.
want to speak this on him, but he's having. I think he said he. I think he said he's feeling better, but he's having
Oh
because
gosh.
here in Georgia the weather just switched. It just
Yes.
like went from like 80 to 30, 30 back to 80, 80 back to 30.
Right,
So
right. So big
it's weird.
pressure changes and temperature
Yeah,
changes on top of that.
absolutely.
And
So
I'm imagining, all kinds of, like ecosystem issues as well, probably
yeah.
like increased
Oh,
pollination.
you're gonna laugh
Yeah.
at this. I'm gonna tell you the wasps and bees are so discombobulated. A wasp jumped on my damn shoulder, and I was like, "Oh!" He was just like, He was just holding on for real life. And I'm like, shoot. He just like, because, outside the truck, it was cold, but the truck was warm. So he flew in. He just like latched on to me. He wasn't trying to attack me, but he was holding on. He wasn't doing it. I said, yo, help me. He was just like, yeah.
He's like, it was it was warm yesterday. I got stuck. Yeah. No, really. Oh, that's a definitely another topic that we're gonna have to like dig into, you
Yeah,
guys. I mean, the whole misnomers about climate change and the way that like common people are being led astray to
right.
believe, these climate change. Um, we'll say not mysticisms, but these myths,
Okay.
and so but definitely for the future I would love to touch on that conversation and
Okay.
really look at what this means for us in our particular regions and what people are doing. So so back to our topic of today, digging even deeper into uh AI, like how can we trust this information? How can we really trust that these areas of AI that are going to affect us directly? We're not just talking about the employment
Mhm.
aspect of this, but we're talking about the way that it's going to judge us and our children. Is it going to also judge our political system? Will there be a clean, checks and balance system, where we as citizens will be able to say, hey, that law applies to me here, and let me go to my AI ATM, legal ATM, and tell him what's going on,
Right.
and we'll be able to bring up some charges against you. Will that be a balanced system? Because of this is a huge question that I have to ask. So the message that I sent you early this morning, I know you were sleeping at the time that it happened, but I'm really starting to see these like fascist behaviors as more and more countries, especially developing countries, are being hit with
Okay.
this economic backlash. Our banks once again are getting bailed out because what is the data says? The data says that there's high risk if we allow our banks to go under.
But
um, you
aren't
know
aren't these and I'm gonna need some research on this. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, nature mom. Aren't
yeah.
these crashes and these ups and downs manipulated? Aren't they man-made
Of
cause?
course. Yeah, I mean,
So,
the Federal Reserve, they are, choosing, how from onset,
mhm.
how high loans are going to cost, eh, whether inflation is going to go up or down. That's manipulation right there. Um, and I mean, what is it in the name of? I think that it would be different if this manipulation was an equal manipulation where lenders and those with the higher money systems were, let's say, evenly being treated in society for a fair opportunity to gain, and regular everyday people also had this fair opportunity. I would
but
say, okay.
but wouldn't, if they this information get out, they could be persecuted and maybe locked up. So how do we? Wouldn't that be
So
hard to prove something like that? Because you're talking about a felony. You're talking about manipulating and crashing. You're talking about that sounds like
but
fraud.
I think that that's one of the main topics of what we're talking about right now. So like, who gets to choose, what is legal and what's not legal? The manipulation that the Federal Reserve gets to do is completely legalized. They are, we all know it. This is totally allowed. Now, if you did
Okay.
it, then
Mm,
it would be considered
felony.
larceny.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right. Right.
If you were manipulating, or I mean, we remember a few cases where there was like insider information, I mean, just recently being
Yes.
shared on the stock market. No, when it's an individual, then yeah, you can be isn't that one of the like causes
Yes.
for impeachment and indictment they were trying to use against Trump
Nancy,
during his.
well, not only Trump, but they go after Trump, but Nancy Pelosi's husband was an insider. He had inside trade information, but
Yeah.
and Hillary Clinton. But when Trump, they accuse of Trump doing stuff, and then everybody's up in arms. But the Democrat, man, don't get me
Yeah.
started. But the Democrats, like I said, Nancy Pelosi husband got a slap on the wrist. Hillary got a slap on the wrist. Chuck Schumer got a slap on the wrist. Mitch McConnell got a slap. All of them get slaps on the
So
wrist.
who gets, yeah, and
Come
when we're
on,
looking at the
man.
financial
Man.
sector, there's definitely, even without AI, technology, let's say, being our forefront decision maker, or help making our social decisions as a whole, where we're all agreeing to this, in a true democratic spirit.
Okay.
But right now, these trends are used, um for corporate gains, and they're used for political gains. They're not being used for us. So yeah, if we are using these AI systems judicially, then in a sense, the fact that, every time these banks are, abusing their banking power. I mean, we know the last three economic busts that we had was because of banking misallocations, and then the Federal Reserve turning around and printing more money. So it is what rose this bubble to the state that it is now. So in the name of what is the question? When
Okay.
it's being risen to this level, governments, policymakers, they get to say, well, we're doing this in the name of, stabilizing the economic system. We're doing this in the name of stabilizing, the government system, and not causing an upset, amongst the citizens. But then when you look at it, I mean, I think that it's, really interesting that during COVID-19, certain communities of people were most, disadvantaged, and yet, there was uh, like a more than half a year debate whether or not they were going to give citizens, a stimulus check individually. And then when it came out, yeah, you got a couple of $100. Anybody out there got a couple $100? I personally did it because, once again, there is no free money, so I know that
What'd you say? Wait a
applying,
minute. Did you say there's no free money?
absolutely no free money.
So no
So,
free health
and
care,
and and let's
no
be
free
clear,
education.
the free money any of us, the banks are getting, any of us are getting, is not free. It's coming out of our taxes. It's coming out of our work weeks. We are losing that money because it's, as you see, it's not coming out of the banks.
But didn't you?
The banks can misallocate their funds, and they'll just get another, few $1 trillion check again. I think it was what, 19 trillion from Obama, was the last payoff, that banks received,
I remember
and
that.
here they are again. There was
Hmm.
no repercussions whatsoever. So this is where I'm going with it. So when does AI help us in these circumstances?
Right,
When do
absolutely.
they help us to, unbiasedly regulate, laws, standards, and particularly going back, over some violations of human rights, of economic rights, of
Yeah, but
many
you're
different
asking the
areas.
AI to become more ethical, and I don't think you can program ethics into a AI. I don't think you can. I mean, I could be
I mean, it's
wrong, but
interesting you say, I don't think I
I don't
can.
think right.
I mean, I think that that's just it doesn't think, it just processes
Right, just
data,
process. Right, right, right.
right? So the question is, what data is it receiving, and what history, and real, like I said, what data collection methods are we seeing here today?
Okay,
And if we follow along with the data methods that we have seen in the past, then I think that unfortunately we are only looking towards having artificial intelligence show great bias against particular groups, as the whole systemic situation has the same unbalance, because that's where the official data comes from.
Um. Okay. Good point. Yeah. Right. Because they're always talking about these statistics say this and that. Man, I'm damn near going on. Well, I'm gonna be 50 April 19th. Um, I've never done a statistic. I've never done a whatever they call that thing in my life. I've never done that. I've never done one. Why?
Are you speaking of like a DNA analysis?
No. When they
Oh,
say statistics, like statistics
uh,
say this, and statistics say
yeah,
we
the
drink
these.
coffee with the right hand. Right. I've never had a statistic, especially as a black person, presented to me. Like how do they come up with these statistics? Like they didn't ask me.
No, no, they take a sample group.
Hmm.
So these are based on, sample size data collections from
Hmm.
a population. But as you say, who gets to choose the fine tuning of the sorry, not a ramification, of the qualifications
All right.
of that overall population. So I think that um, that's one of the most interesting aspects, is just as you're saying, statistics. I can tell you, I've gone through biostatistics, I've gone through, basic statistics,
Right.
economic statistics, and you know what we've discovered in one of the courses you and I talked about before, when we were talking about the hair industry, and how are we statistically represented even in the cosmetic industry around the world. We're the highest consumers, yet we are so underly statitized. We're so under analyzed in the technologies and the information that we're getting. So I mean, I don't know, that's definitely one of the biggest issues that I can put out there. Representation prejudices being in that data collection. I don't think that it's just going to go away,
Right. So
just because AI is here.
I know you wanted to wait till your guest got here, but I know you said you wanted to kind of correlate the whole AI and biasness with what's going on, if I'm not mistaken. But I didn't know if you wanted to say
Yeah.
that or did you want
I could
to? I
speak
guess.
about it like very
Okay.
generally and lightly, because we're
Okay.
we're still
Still dealing
pulling
with it.
in
Right.
data.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a very close friend of mine, school teacher, in Zambia, has had his mother arrested today.
In
And
Zambia.
yes,
Okay.
and she was arrested because apparently the police are claiming that someone tampered with their electricity bill system.
Uh oh.
And when they went on raids and raided people's homes,
Right.
they decided to take an elderly woman into custody. um, and as I could see right
So I'm
now,
assuming they have rolling blackouts, and that's why they're cracking down on these electricities.
rolling blackouts is a regular occurrence
Regular
in
occurrence, right?
Zambia.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
many African countries, you
Absolutely.
have regular blackouts. But I mean, one of the biggest questions that I'm asking right now, and I'm really trying to get some data on,
Hmm.
is, are these extortion measures? So what's the best way? I mean, let's say if they did this to a young man, which is
Hmm.
apparently who they were looking for when they were looking for the assailants of this, alleged situation. And then they walk out with an elderly woman who has no technical background, who has no affiliations. I mean, it is a property owner.
But could it be a case of selling drugs at grandmama house situation?
No, no, we're not talking about a
No,
weeds
no,
episode
no,
or,
no, 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 no,
something
no, no,
like
no,
this.
no. I'm not saying actually sell
Yeah.
weed. I'm saying that the same
No, no, no.
mentality that
Exactly. No,
you
this
got.
is not like a, rocking granny who's doing,
No, 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 no.
cold.
You missed my point. No, no, no.
Okay, so
You can be
go
at
ahead.
okay. You can be at grandma's house,
Mhm.
and Tyrone decides he's going to sell drugs because he's living with grandma, and so
Right?
he's making transaction,
I
making
understand that.
transactions. So now the police are surveying the house, and Tyrone's not home one day, but they get the okay to go raid and pull out grandmama situation.
So I think that this situation, so far, it just seems quite a bit different, in the aspect that,
So
one,
maybe what I'm saying is that
no,
maybe
I understand
somebody's
your question.
okay,
Maybe
okay,
this happened in her
grandmama's house,
dwelling,
and grandma didn't know
and
nothing about it.
so I think that this is what's interesting about it, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so one, the data that I do have so far is that, the police are, uh, keeping her for processing, yet
Mhm.
have not pulled up any charges.
Right, because they
Um,
want grandmama to roll on grandson
uh,
on
I'll
Tyrone.
continue.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Uh,
Okay.
as well, no video footage has been put up of anyone
Right.
actually committing these crimes. There's no proof that this crime has even taken place. And then the interesting part is,
Whoa, 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 whoa. So they're saying that you're saying that the crime. So there's no surge in electricity, no spike in the electricity usage.
no, I
Because
think
there
that
has
the
to be a there has. I mean, I'm just going by American standards. There has to be
right,
a documentation of okay. Let's
of
say
some
somebody's
type
stealing
of
electricity. Like
right,
you
right,
got electricity box, and that means there's going to be a when that electricity is supposed to be flat line. There's a spike. So they're getting
right,
electricity, so they can present
right.
that to the
No,
court, get a
no.
warrant. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
so this
just
seems to be
yeah.
more of a situation. The accusation so far
Okay.
is that, the actual payment machine itself has been
Hmm.
tampered with, and I'm not even clear if they're trying to say that there was actually, if there was actual money taken from this machine. That's not clear at this point. But just saying that the machine was tampered with, and they have decided to charge this elderly woman who has no electronic technical background with this particular act. So I've been looking through the Zambian penal code, and so far I don't find any one law that says, without her eliciting and her being a part of this this alleged behavior, that she would be charged at all, or detained. So the question that I'm asking now is, under what grounds and what are the charges? And all of a sudden there's no information coming back, because I think, one, nobody expected someone to ask the question, I would like to know, under which penal code, what are the charges? But what has been said so far is, give us 60,000 Zambian dollars, and this case will go away. So that's all we have at this point.
Okay, I see what's
So
going
to
on. I
me, it
see
just
where you're
sounds a little bit more like
extortion.
extortion
Yeah, yeah.
than actual case. So this is what's really disturbing and interesting. You guys, this is the conversation we've been having. We want to like really reach out and know what's going on globally. And this is the truth of the matter. There's a lot of people who, you know, i- don't think that the banks in US, going under,
Uh-huh.
does not affect communities all over the world. They absolutely do.
Very
And
good
when
point.
these banks need to, these foreign banks, and these foreign, I think that that's the other interesting part. The police arrested under a utility charge. Uh, I think that this is one of the most interesting. You're signaling me. Okay, okay,
Yeah, Ebizzle has a question for you.
okay, okay.
Just find that.
Yeah, I
There
got
you go.
I saw. Oh, yep.
You
There
see
you
it?
go. You
Okay.
put it up. Yep. Okay. So, what's your thoughts on Vice President a week-long visit beginning today in Ghana, Tanzania, and Zambia? Mhm. So, I wonder if uh, Miss Kamala Harris is aware that these types of behaviors, or even spending the time to find out that these types of behaviors are going on from the government towards their citizens, and from a woman who was like putting single moms in jail. I don't expect very much. Um, so I just we'll see what happens. I'm really hoping to get a lot of exposure on this situation, and see if there's any correlation what's going on in Tanzania. I want to find out how many other countries are like, let's say the stories are starting to change, because there's always issues, especially in developing countries and war torn countries, with countries with unstable government systems, because our great government systems get to take great advantage
Right.
of their already delicate situations. So I would just like to see, yeah, how many situations right now are starting to look similar, as more and more of these informations are coming out, because like I said, I just got this information, let's say probably about maybe 4 o'clock in the morning your time, Black
Right.
Sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is all fresh, and I've been watching a few, doing let's say a globe watch, especially since the announcement that the banks were
Yeah.
going to get their bailouts. One other thing I like to throw out there, when we're talking about, AI analysis, I mean, are we absolutely, are we like so focused on AI, doing image recognition and natural language processing and selfies for Instagram and TikTok, that we can't develop and do enough research where our AI can detect when our banks are let's say not appropriately allocating their funds. They use AI technology every day for marketing, for trends, for even selling customers on many different levels, different wealth building programs, but they don't have the AI technology to give them a warning far in advance, that they are, eh, involved in risky banking practices that are going to end up costing Americans again, after they've already been in, this is the third crisis now since 2008. And nobody even mentions what happened in 2001 because of 9/11. So, I think that we're starting to see a trend where we have these rolling um, economic busts, and the big banks are too large to fail. So we yeah, are the ones who have to bail them out. So sorry, Black Swan, I know I'm going on and on because this is a rough one for me, because I really do respect technology and its abilities, but to see that it's already highly um, lopsided
Hmm.
and oversighted is just it makes no sense. I mean, one area I will say, in the medical world, there have been, I don't know the exact statistics, and I can get that for you guys at a future time, but, so many less diagnosis errors. They're using AI technology to be able to find, malignant tumors and other, um,
Right. Right.
health threats
Right.
at a higher rate than they've ever been able to do in time, but they can't find economic threats. They can't find judicial
Right.
threats. So I
Right.
think that this is one of the areas, that I would like to see some future improvements, in the way that we are designing our technology to participate in our everyday lives.
Right. And it's funny you said not financial threats because it seemed like they would be able to. You really don't want to trace some of the financial threats because you really don't want that paper trail to lead you to where all the money is going, do we? Sounds like we want to then cut off that trail there. We don't
Uh,
want everybody to lead down to the money trail there, nature mom.
Well, we knew before AI hit the scene when they got rid of our dear Ghislaine. She had the list in her hand, right? Where is she? We have no idea. Where's the list? Have no idea. The judge that was going to, push this through, FedEx Clinton shows up at her door and shoots her whole family down. So, I'm just saying,
I would,
it seems there's a huge, I know I'm joking, I'm being facetious, you guys, but truly, that the judge gets shot down,
facts. That's
and
facts.
we never get back to this case. COVID keeps us, quietly, blinded, scared, and not pushing, this type of data forward.
And
And
who
then
and who
we could,
Trump paid? What Trump does in his personal life? And I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, let's say what he does in his personal life, as long as it's not, hurting children. Let's be clear.
Last
Uh,
time I remembered, Stormy Daniels was nowhere near child. She's damn near 60 years old. But okay, I'm
yeah, I
far from being a child.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. We can see that the lack of balance is still so clearly prevalent in our system, but we're focusing, this very useful technology. We're intentionally spotlighting it in particular areas,
Right.
and not having this data as transparent as it could be,
Yeah.
not pointed in the areas where the public would be most interested. I think anytime you can point something like this in an area that protects our children, and our our future generations, and people who are more susceptible at true victimization. We're not talking about those who are self-victimizing, but in this particular case, when it's not spotlighted in these areas at all, we can already see that we are having a huge issue with ethical guidelines. We're having huge issues with regular auditing, legal frameworks that really holds this, together as
Mhm.
a viable system to be able to improve, the quality of all of our lives on an equal level going into the future.
So, again, like I said, I want to tap into some of the. Like I said, when I get a chance, like you said,
Blackson, I'm losing you.
oh
Your
shit,
speaker. Yeah.
oh. Let me see if I can turn it up. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Nature Mind. Give me 1 second. Just 1 second. Okay, how's that? How's that? How's that? That better? No, no,
Uh,
no, no. Testing, testing.
okay. Yeah, you're going out a little bit.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, something's wrong with my damn.
Okay.
Ooh,
Sorry, guys.
ooh. Yeah.
Uh,
Testing, testing. Can you
so
hear me
maybe
now?
we can look at some of the comments while you straighten that out,
Okay.
and kind of see what you guys have to say about some of this.
Wow.
Um, can you pull some up, Black Sun? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see.
Yeah. Okay. I can hear you now, but
You
your
can hear me
volume
now?
is really low.
It's really
Just
low.
really low.
Mm,
I don't
I
know if
don't know.
anybody else is
Yeah.
getting that, or if
Let
there's
me.
just interruption on my part.
No, I think that's. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong with this. Yeah, it's showing my mic really low, really, really low. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what's going on. Yeah, testing, 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 testing,
I can hear
testing,
you.
testing.
Just
Okay,
low.
just low.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Uh
Uh,
yeah. Okay, so uh wow.
can you pull up some comments? We can get
Yeah,
in with the
yeah,
audience here.
His
Let's
mic is
see.
fuzzy. Oh wow,
Uh,
mic is fuzzy too. Damn. Ugh. Um, Let me see if I can pull.
yeah. So
Boom. So that's one.
okay, Empress. So UKPM has just brought out antisocial laws and deviants. Will have to wear bright colored clothing. Uh-huh. So yeah, that's interesting. I love that word deviance. When we
I
were
do too.
taking sociology, and we had a whole module just on that word alone. Um, so it's interesting. I mean, basically, by having these people in these communities where these bright and they're doing okay, is this like community service, Empress, where they're wearing the bright colored clothes to be punished, so that everybody knows they're the ones who violated misdemeanor social laws? Because we have the same practices and have had in the United States for quite a long time. It's interesting who gets community service and where their community service is actually served. I worked, of course, in the social sector for many decades in the US, and it was interesting who got the picking up trash community service on the side of the freeway, and which ones were able to let's say serve in a soup kitchen, or who
Yeah.
was allowed to accompany a high profile public officials at meetings,
Right.
or at speeches, and that was considered their community service. It definitely, in the time that I was working in with the government, I hear you're thumping, Black Sun.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Oh,
Um,
sorry.
was
Okay.
very related to affluence and very related to social status. So yeah, I think that that's very interesting. These bright color, it's like the scarlet letter. you
Sounds
know
like UK trying to be like Alabama. Sound like that. Sound like some Alabama. They still got the stripes down
She
in
said the
Alabama.
people don't want it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, this is profiling, right? Just another form of labeling and profiling. So, hopefully, haven't you seen them? Take photos. Now you can just take photos of them, driving by, and post them on social media, and that person will be certainly canceled in a way that we've seen, people who have faced the judicial system, can should we say, who have faced the judicial system and were not favored by this system. How we've seen them cancel before, now, this is not the same as the new woke canceling that's happening. But yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Sound like.
So she's in Accra. I see Bizzle saying that Harris is in Accra. Yeah.
So they're making their rounds, Nature Mom. What's going on? I mean,
Yeah, there
they.
definitely seems to be, some rounds taken. I did see a huge press conference for Kamala Harris in the U.S. just last week. If I'm not, maybe Bizzle or someone else could
Now,
confirm that.
I find it. How's my mic sound, Nature Mom? Does it sound okay now?
It's we can hear you, but it's low. Yeah,
It's
but not
low.
like before. Yeah, I think that
Okay.
your wires,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, real quick.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, Real quick. Do you find it coincidental they're making these rounds in Africa when Putin and Xi Jinping just made an alliance?
Um, Not really. I mean, because we know that, especially in Zambia right now, there's been a huge Chinese and Russian influence there. Chinese is building their roads. Russia wants to go in and take up a lot of the contracts well before this most current, war, or whatever you want to call it, this military display.
Whatever you want to
Um,
call it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah. So, yeah, firsthand. And I can tell you, I mean, one of the biggest complaints is that there's all of these, government supports and contracts and money going around. Yet, it seems, and this is just from inside information, nothing that I've been witnessing firsthand, but just that none of the contracts were going to local people unless they
Hmm.
were very well established in higher levels of political influence and nepotism. So, um, yeah, I mean, the way that it was even described to me, a lot of the infrastructure contracts were being done by the Chinese government, and this is like starting before COVID,
Right,
and they would completely fence off, close off the area so that what was happening inside couldn't even be seen.
right.
So I think that that lets you know a lot about, we know that Zambia is one of the biggest areas for mining for copper.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
the natural resources there, as far as natural water, is just, Victoria Falls in itself is just, a huge and breathtaking, piece of natural wonder, but also great for generating electricity. So yeah, I see another comment came up. Let's see, the agenda is various from what I'm hearing. Baganda is concerned with instability. Yeah, there's a lot of regional instability. There was this trend of going towards a lot of countries, building their own independent wealth systems, even around all of the Chinese and Russian contracts that are going in. And all of a sudden, yeah, we have another. Like you're mentioning, another coup coming up. Another other racial wars. There's racial wars happening right now in Ethiopia, between Ethiopia and Somalia. Nobody's been talking about that, and that's been going on for several years now. Um, I always say it wrong. Etreya. Etreya is caught right in the middle of all of that unrest. We know that there's still a lot of involvement with South Sudanese. So yeah, there's just, every opportunity, because when you go in and you disrupt
Right.
another country's stability and their economic viability, then that opens up great contracts for other countries to go in and create jobs and opportunities and mining, taking over a lot of mines. Um, I thought that it was very poignant that I was listening to Robert Kiyosaki last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about some gold mines that he purchased in China, and gold and silver mines. And when those mines were, really starting to, pull in a nice, hefty gain, Chinese government came in, said, "Thank you very much. Now get out," and just took his mine. So yeah, this really undermines these countries' opportunity to do the same thing, to have the power and the, unity to say, you have a very rich mine on our land, you know thank you very much, you can now leave. So yeah, I really feel like I see the twisting of the arm happening here. um so, you guys, I hate to like cut this conversation short, because I think that we are just digging into, the meat of this dish. But unfortunately, I must go. Um, but I would definitely love to dig more. Ibiza, maybe if you want to, like pull up some sources, I would love to dig into what you're talking about right now, because I think that this undermining of third world countries, I mean, we can see what's happening in Sri Lanka right now. We can see, and Sri Lanka was just being considered at that point of bankruptcy to not be considered a developing country anymore. They were being considered as, a city of the future, like people used to see Singapore. So it's just really interesting, as they were like completely independent, all of a sudden the biggest rug possible was just swept right underneath them. And like you said, China's in there, US is in there. Everybody's ready, from this international fund, ready to give them loans. And it was mentioned very clearly that they defaulted on a previous loan. So yeah, I think that, yeah, exactly, Empress. China, even though they just squandered all their money and, should
Hold
be
on.
bankrupting.
Hold on, Nature Mom. Can
Oh,
you hear
should I have
me?
said that out loud?
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is that China just got Saudi Arabia and Iran together.
And
Did you
why?
hear me?
Yeah, I
For
heard you
peace
clearly.
talks. For peace talks.
And why? Because
You tell me
China
why.
has one huge potential for their mining. They're uh, Everybody is looking for this lithium right now. This is the number one, more than the gold at this point, more than the silver. And one of the biggest opportunities, of like excavating, is are these regions. They have so much potential. They already have so many resources that are almost like popping out of the land, definitely popping out of the water in this Gulf region. Yeah, it's just opening up opportunities for all of them. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would even argue that they're already number one. It's just that it kind of like the recession, they just haven't, called that duck a duck yet.
Are you saying that petrodollar done sank there, Nature Mom?
Oh, so like I said, I think we have to go for a round
Okay,
two
okay,
because
okay.
now everybody's lining up at the door waiting for me.
Oh,
And
okay, okay, okay.
yeah, yeah, but really, I mean, just I think understanding,
Okay.
that the shift has already happened. And like I said, Bizzle, I think that duck is already quacking. And to call US, the first economic power in the world right now, paper can say a lot of things.
Damn.
So
All right, Nature Mom. I hope my opponent is not watching this show because if so, I'd have already lost that future debate. Damn.
sorry.
Shout out to KOT. Shout out to Angel
We win
SVDL.
some,
Hey,
we lose some, right?
win some, lose some. So Angel, if you're watching, I might have to stick to them old points because it look like I'm gonna get knocked out by KOT. God dang. All right, y'all. Damn.
Such an honor and a pleasure every time, you guys. Thank you so much, and I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, um, digging deeper into this, and really asking the question whether or not, AI is it going to support us, or is it only going to support the agenda that's already in place? And we're already seeing, a directional pull. So I'm curious if anyone else sees something different.
We'll have to continue it. I'm gonna have to do my
Uh,
research. Yeah, like I said, I'm in the middle of researching a debate right now, so I'm a. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yes,
Cause
yes.
yeah,
And
I'm
one
this is
question I
consuming.
would like to throw out to, the audience and to you, Black Sun.
Okay.
Did uh, did TikTok win that negotiation? Are they being banned in the United States because they've already been banned in Europe?
Poetic. Y'all got the answer to that? Cause I don't know. They've been Trump here in the U.S. So I
Mhm.
don't
Ah,
know. Yeah.
Oh, so
They've
that's
been
interesting.
they've been Trump storming Daniels,
Trump. So they got Trump on the
Trump. Yeah, they
they
got
got
Trump on.
Trump on the brain.
Yes. They,
Okay, we got to call up Rihanna to let her know that her song's been changed.
right. Trump on the
Oh,
brain,
yeah.
Trump on the brain. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
exactly.
all been all Trump. So,
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much, really.
oh, okay.
Yeah, to all of you out there.
So E said on the U.S. So UK's trying to ban it too. Oh shit.
UK's trying. Okay, I know that the European Union already banned it. Yeah,
Oh,
so um,
ban yeah, and okay. So E and Poetic answered your question.
wow. Okay.
So they're
So it's not all out yet.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, is it that no decision has been made, or they're,
So
let's say, are they still in negotiation?
Poetic says they're trying in the UK Parliament, and E Bizzle says in the US not yet. So there's
Okay.
your answer. So
Okay.
UK and US are both trying. They're trying their damnedest right now.
Okay. Yeah. So it'll be curious, if because I know, let me see. I hope I didn't erase that email,
Okay.
but let's see. It was this will be my last point.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
We know we gotta let you go. Nation Mom.
yeah,
I don't want to hold you
but
up. Shout out.
yeah,
Shout out to the family. Shout out to the
yeah, thank you,
family.
thank
Yes.
you,
Yes.
thank you. And really, I mean, I keep calling them the overseas tech crew over here.
Mm-hmm.
All the support, the lighting, the AI, not the AI, sorry, the IT support we're getting here. Really, thank you guys so much for like being here for this show, because we believe in it, and I love this kind of conversation.
Well, it's
So
funny. The
just
show that
quick
my
look.
mic is mixing up. Yours sounds immaculate. Yours sounds really crisp. So yeah, but
Oh,
mine
wow.
is yeah. No, yours sound
Fantastic.
really good. Yeah, yeah. Just not fantastic with my end, but
But
I
it's
gotta work.
cleared up all of a sudden. So I don't know if you did
Really?
something different.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did have a storm, and I was telling GTO stand by just in case. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but this mic has been giving me trouble, so I'm gonna have to go back to the wireless, the white one. So I don't know. I don't know. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm just looking real quick just to see if, let's see, I know that there's a Russian cutoff, but I'm trying to see, go back to the news, particularly about the AI, because I was getting regular, not AI, but the TikTok
Okay.
cutoffs. I think what's really interesting about that is, don't we have the AI technology? Here we go. So this is news from, what day is this? This is from, yeah, the 22nd. So yeah, 4 days ago. So a little old now. But we have here that TikTok made a final plea. Congress is considering banning TikTok over the potential ties to China's government and the misuse of users' information. So they're not even saying it's about spyware technology anymore. Now, TikTok CEO Xiaozi is asking the US to reconsider, as it could be a massive impact on business and creators. The application has over 150 million users in the United States. 5 million of those users use the account for businesses. And so
Right.
this is TikTok's plea. So Bizzle, I'm just curious if Congress is just in delegation, or they just haven't figured out yet. So yeah, there's already been huge bans
Right.
in Europe. So I'll be interested to see what's going to happen next. Yeah, and the situation in Haiti, and no one's speaking about the Haitian Mexican rival wars
Ooh.
that are going on right now.
Actually, me and
Yeah,
MD,
there's
we talked about that. The
oh,
fentanyl
okay.
crisis. Yeah, we actually addressed that. Shout out to
Yeah,
MD. We gonna deal another. Actually, I hope E Bizzle joins us, but me and MD, and I hope
yeah.
we're gonna do another part two on that. And like I said, along with the fentanyl crisis too. So we gonna definitely touch on
Well,
that a
and
little bit
also,
more.
like, looking at if this, economic downturn in US, and let's not forget US just defaulted on a lot of international loans to pay off this debt that they keep on printing money for. And this has a direct correlation to the increase of crime and
Absolutely.
things going on all over the world. So, just the fact that you are seeing much more kidnapping cases. There was some calming down, and it was mostly, all pointing towards cartel activity. And
Hmm.
here we are now back to random situations, even outside of what we are hearing between the Haitians and the Mexicans, the Mexican War, where you have these random ransom kidnappings happening. So,
Hmm.
like I said, for police to be putting an elderly woman, you know, um, in jail without clear charges and without clear evidence is just really skeptical right now. And
Right.
especially,
Absolutely.
you want me to pay the money before we even, like, what our rights are, or what you're charging me for. But if I give you the money up front, the case can go away. No, it's just way too I'm very skeptical too, Black Sun. But
Yeah.
when I'm looking at details like this, it already makes me very it makes me question this case altogether. And
Absolutely.
just right now trying to support my friend and his family with judicial protocol and laws and their penal codes. So just show us where in these penal codes you feel like your case is viable, and we would like some evidence. you know Camera, there's CCTV everywhere. So let's see where this is supported.
Right.
So I'll keep you guys updated on that. And let's just really hope that some true justice can be seen in this situation. And really hoping for the best right now, because that's all we're left with. So on that note, you guys, thank you. Good night.
Good night, Nature Mom.
Good night.
All right. Shout out to E Bizzle, Poetic. We got some new people in the chat. GTO, Deacon, uh, Leaf. I've seen you before, so shout out to you. Angel. Shout out to Angel. Twin. I saw Twin. So yeah, everybody, we out, y'all. See y'all next week, and yeah, stay tuned. And yeah, don't forget, go to Rumble, y'all. Go to Rumble, the arena, so y'all can get all y'all notifications. I cannot guarantee YouTube will get your notifications. So with that being said, we out, y'all. In peace.